I'm Jason.
I'm Todd.
This is our little child Ziggy. Say hello, Ziggy.
Hi, Ziggy.
And we're the Glamping Guys.
This building was designed to resemble a crane landing. This is the back, so symbolically we are looking at a bird's rear end. And behold, here's a plaque to commemorate Paynes Prairie, National Natural Landmark and Ecological Wonderland, full of incredible flora and fauna. So guys, Paynes Prairie is known for a lot of things. One of them is its wildlife. And as we're walking around here, we're going to be exploring a lot of different nature trails. And they're supposed to have wild bison and wild horses. There are even supposed to be some alligators on some of these trails, which of course excites Jason and kind of terrifies me. But that's okay, because I'm going to deal with it, y'all. I'm going to push through the fear of alligators. And we are not bringing Ziggy anywhere near those trails. And pets aren't allowed anyway. So here we go. Hey everybody, here we are in glorious Paynes Prairie. We're about to go check out the visitor center and the observation tower. Follow me. It's a little bit of a hike from Puggy Campground to the visitor center, but who cares when there's breeze on your face and palm trees are flying by? You get to watch the landscape change from swampy, dense forest to this area with these impossibly tall pine trees until you get, well, right about here, the Alachua Savannah, otherwise known as the Prairie. Well, that was a fun little bike ride. However, we are sweating. Thankfully, we are parked in the shade and ready to walk to the visitor center right now. Let's go.
So we just made it to the Paynes Prairie Preserve Visitor Center, and we came across this cute little sign. It looks like that they have a birding trail.
Feel free to pause at any point to read more about birds. Paynes Prairie is particularly famous for the cranes, hence the whole inspiration for the cool building. The cranes come to roost at the prairie between November and April. We visited in October, so we just missed them, but we certainly didn't miss out on other wildlife viewing opportunities. Paynes Prairie is never the same twice, and that's due to a natural phenomenon called the Alachua sink. Just like the sinks in our homes, natural sinks are basins that can fill up with water, and they can also drain and the water can flow underground. So the water level in the prairie is constantly changing. Later on, when we show you the prairie, you may be thinking, why is this called a prairie? It's not dry, there's no tumbleweeds, no prairie dogs. This place is like a gloriously beautiful swamp. Well, basically, it's called a prairie because it's a vast expanse of green land with no trees. I guess that's the only prairie prerequisite.
Oh wow, this is cool. It's just hanging out in the middle of the woods. So this is the Paynes Prairie Preserve Visitor Center. You said it's dope. Isn't that what all the young kids are saying now? It's dope.
Seriously, like dope Frank Lloyd Wright style architecture.
Yep, it's dope.
So yes, here's the front of this dope building. Inspired by the landing of a crane. Feel free to hit pause and try to figure that out. Whatever the case, it's definitely dope, and there's some pretty dope displays inside. I sound like a science teacher who's trying desperately to sound cool. Hey kids, you know what's dope? Ecology. Anyway, here's a very informative and detailed map about the prairie and all its trails. Now, as for the prairie's namesake, it's rumored to be named after a Seminole chief called King Payne,
Not to be confused with the song King of Pain by Sting, who probably feels no pain because he's constantly in a meditative tantric state. Anyway, before this place became a swampy gator's paradise, once upon a time, the Alachua Sink was very much full of water. So much so that people in the 1800s just called it a lake. And Alachua Lake, as it was known, was so large that it was filled with steamboats and tugboats and whatever other kind of period-appropriate boat. I'm no maritime expert, so just have fun Googling all that. Anyway, Alachua Lake thrived for quite some time until the sink unplugged, and all that water started disappearing underground, so no more steamboats. Hello, Marshlands. Oh, gosh. Vegans, look away. We're gonna say this guy had a long, healthy life before he was turned into room decor. It's an interesting story how the bison came to be in the prairie. Around the late 1800s, after the whole sink unstopping debacle and the kind of fake lake being rebranded, the prairie was considered more of an historical park than a naturalist paradise. So, in an effort to recreate the vibe of the 17th century Spanish colonial period, the folks in charge of the prairie decided to bring in the wild Spanish horses and the bison. And these horses and bison are still thriving today. The horses are still making baby horses, so you'll see stallions and mares and ponies, oh my. However, you won't see any adult male bison in the prairie because, okay, it's just a picture of a gator, no big deal. Moving on, so the male bison aren't allowed in the park. Okay, I don't like this. Okay, good lord, how many desiccated gators does one room need? Anyway. So you only see the mama and baby bison here because the grown-up male adult bisons, they were getting a little bit aggressive. Much like an alligator. But I guess the alligators really behaved themselves because unlike the bison, they haven't been relocated. Okay, this stuff about alligators basking is actually really cool. This is the Alachua Savannah Theater, which plays a video where I stole most of the information for this voiceover. Enjoy! Because no room here is complete without a dead gator. Let's go outside. From the back of the visitor center, otherwise known as the Crane's Butt, we get this beautiful view of the prairie through the trees. Later on, when we head up to the observation tower, we're going to get a much more unobstructed view of the prairie in all its majesty. And we might just see some wildlife too. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into some bison, or some wild horses, or, all manner of reptilian creatures. Run, snake! Slither away before someone turns you into taxidermy! That was a lot of fun. The visitor center was really cool looking and very informative. Now we're heading to the observation tower. Got some binoculars, hoping to see some horses, maybe some alligators.
Yeah, and we saw a snake.
A snake in the grass.
Oh, how cool. Here's the observation tower. And there are some horses out on the prairie, so hopefully we will be able to get some good shots for you guys. Check that out. Wow, that is really cool. This tower overlooks the whole prairie and the marshlands. All right, let's get on these steps and get up top. cool is this? We got here at the perfect time. We have a whole family of wild horses just kind of hanging out right below us. This is such a wonderful treat. Okay, guys. The horses are literally right at the fence. So we're gonna try and walk up really, really quiet. And maybe see if I can get some close-up shots of the horses. It looks like they're up here on the edge eating some grass.
Well, everybody, we've seen horses, we've seen snakes. Now we're gonna go down the famous Cones Dyke Trail and see if we can find some alligators. It'd be really fun to go see if we can find some prehistoric creatures that have somehow survived for millions and millions of years because they're just so incredibly dangerous. Oh, I'm a little bit scared of gators, but at least I know how to get away from them because I've read in many multiple reliable sources that if a gator's chasing you to run in zigzags because it tires them out because they have to keep turning.
All right, we're getting ready to go down by the water and hopefully we're gonna see some alligators. Awesome. This is kind of interesting. They have the actual gate to the road / trail blocked off. But then, look, see there's a tiny little corral-y kind of thing where you just go right through. And now we're out onto the larger part of the trail that goes down by the marshland. Uh-oh. And it's typical Florida weather. You can see it's starting to get a little bit more cloudy and a little bit darker in the sky. So it's about that time of the day for some of the thunderstorms to come through. The nice thing though, out walking all day like this, the rain is very relaxing and very refreshing. Oh my goodness, look. Wild horse poop. Okay, so here's already a lot of marshland. So I'm gonna start looking to see if we see some alligators or anything like that. Wow, this is really neat. Oh, wow. And way over there, you can see the observation tower that we were at earlier. There's the observation tower.
Well guys, we didn't see any alligators on the last trail. I know Jason's a little bit disappointed. I'm not. But anyway, how can anybody be disappointed with all this beautiful nature all around us? Paynes Prairie Reserve is absolutely incredible. You have to check it out. Well, I guess this video is about ready to wrap up. So it's time to say, have a fabulous day and stay tuned.
Leave a comment to say hi. If you like us, please subscribe. And if you don't, our little fluffy dog will attack you.